It's Toma time, guys. UFC 311 just got announced yesterday. And what are they saying about the card? What did the UFC page post? UFC 311, a stacked card. This is another garbage pay-per-view card that does not get me excited. Okay, let's go through each fight so you can understand why we're literally getting another UFC pay-per-view event, whatever. That's not exciting. It's boring from top to bottom. Not stacked whatsoever. Okay? I already told you in previous videos, we are in a UFC recession. Do you know why? Because all these personalities fighting on pay-per-view cards are boring as shit. Okay? No personality whatsoever. The only pay-per-views they sell is based on them fighting. Okay, so let's just get into it. Let's look at this UFC 311 stacked card that the UFC is bragging about, that the Dana White made a big announcement for. I love Dana White. It's not his fault that his fighters are boring, so just get that out of the way. I love you, Dana White. Let's look at it, okay? This is the main event. Starts off with Kevin Holland versus Rainier de Ridder. Some weird-looking dude with blonde hair who shouldn't be having blonde hair. Are we excited for that fight? Not really. I don't think I'm going to watch it. I like Kevin Holland. I hope he wins. Moving on. Jiri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. This is a good fight. I actually will be excited for this fight. And I know this might sound crazy, but I'm probably most excited about this fight. That just shows you how garbage this pay-per-view is. I'm most excited about the second fight on the main card. Why am I so excited? Because of Jamal Hill. He's a fucking dickhead. He's a dumbass. I don't like him whatsoever, but I like the effort he puts into selling his fights. He actually understands that you have to be more than a fighter to sell and make people want to watch you. All these fucking people like Islam, Umar, Merab, you know, whoever else, Arman, you are boring as shit. You have no personality. At least Jamal Hill gets it. I'm excited for that fight. You already know that's going to be a banger. And even though I don't like Jamal Hill, I do hope Jamal Hill wins, because why not give him Alex Pereira again? No one else in the division is exciting. Magomed Ankalaev is boring as shit. I'd rather see Jamal Hill again than a stupid Ankalaev fight. He might as well just go to the prelims. He's uninteresting. After that fight, Beneil Dariush, Renato Moicano. Boring as shit. Don't care to watch it whatsoever. And then already we're at the co-main event after two boring fights and one good fight. We're at the co-main event. Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Literally, this is what I'm talking about in my last few videos. We do not want to see these fucking bot NPC fighters on the top of pay-per-view events that used to be exciting. That used to be Colby Usman, fucking Conor McGregor, Khabib. All these exciting fights. Now we have Merab versus Umar. Now, I'm going to watch it just because it's a high skill set fight. And I do hope that Merab wins. And I'm not shitting on Merab as much as I'm shitting on Umar. This man needs Ali Abdelaziz to use his Twitter to talk shit because he doesn't know what to say. At least Merab, I'll give him some credit. He's boring as shit on the mic, but he has some funny skits. He puts in the effort. So I respect Merab a lot. I really do. And then main event, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. Do I even need to talk more shit about why Islam is way overhyped and why Arman, the only thing he's going to do is make Islam look good? Because Arman himself is so overhyped. He lost to Gamrot. He's got 3 losses on his record. He barely beat a washed-up Charles Oliveira in his last fight, and now he's getting a title shot. And Islam lost to Volk, beat Volk in a rematch, not impressive. Went in a 4-round war with washed-up Dustin Poirier, got busted up, and Islam's the pay-per-view, the pound-for-pound best fighter, so good. They're feeding him Arman. They're hyping up Arman. Islam's going to beat him because he's just Islam's a better version than Arman, and Islam's going to continue to be this great fighter that the UFC is trying to promote so much. But he's just boring. He's just boring, and there's nothing else to it. There's no excitement with Islam. At least Khabib, his mentor, gave us some fucking UFC classic events, some classic moments. Fucking press conferences with Conor McGregor, jumping over the cage to fuck up Dylan Dennis. The Eagle, Habib. Islam Makhachev is so goddamn boring, he doesn't even have a nickname. That's the main event for UFC 311 on this stacked card. Islam Arman, Merab Umar, Beneil Renato, Jiri versus Jamal Hill, Kevin Holland, and De Ridder. Out of all those fights, I'm really only excited for Jiri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Can we stop acting like the UFC is what it used to be? All you fans who are pretending to still like go hard for these events and be so excited, you're just joking yourself. The only reason I can think of why you're so excited for these pay-per-views is because you just started watching the UFC yesterday. If you've been watching the UFC since the Chael Sonnen days, the John Jones days, the rivalries DC, Covington, Usman, this shit will not excite you if you've been watching the UFC for so long. I love the UFC. I used to get so damn excited. I used to call off work to watch the pay-per-views. Do you think anyone's calling off work for Islam versus Arman? Or Merab versus Umar? These Chechen and Dagestani and wrestling fuck fighters are not getting it done. They're super immensely talented. But I mean, that's about it, guys. That is literally about it. Let's see. I'm not shitting on them. I'm shitting on them making the UFC boring. That's what I put in my notes. I mean, guys, look. Just look at UFC 310. The press conference on the UFC YouTube page is at 66,000 views in almost a day. Do you guys understand how much the UFC is falling off right now? Press conferences used to get millions of views back in the glory days. Now, almost a day later, we're at 66,000 views for UFC 310 because no one gives a shit about these personalities. Pantoja, Japan guy, what's his name? I can't even remember his name. And that's headlining a UFC pay-per-view event. My point has been done. Bye, guys.